There are more homeless people living in New York City today than at any time during the Great Depression of the 1930s.
In the United States, one of the wealthiest nations in the world, poverty and homelessness continues to plague its streets and shelters.
A decade ago, Christopher Catarusa was serving his country in Iraq. He turned 33 last month. His home now, a Los Angeles pavement.
According to the coalition, the number of homeless New Yorkers sleeping each night in temporary shelters is 61% higher than a decade ago.
Seen on the street since you've been here?
Oh, everything. They do dope, have sex, everything you can imagine. It's a zoo. It's a zoo here.
A short walk from Skid Row, downtown LA is booming. New apartment blocks replacing derelict buildings. But as property prices have risen 27%, homelessness has gone up 12%.
33 U.S. cities ban or are considering banning the practice of sharing food with homeless people.
Before I moved here, I had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I had 2 cars and a truck, a big backyard, big front yard, a dog in the front, a dog in the back.
I used to be a nurse assistant for Convalescent Hospital for the elderly.
After being laid off, he headed west to San Diego in search for work. But Peyton has been unable to land a job in this expensive city, and within months ended up on the street begging for change.
There are people all over the city in cars.
They told me not to sleep in inside my car or my motorhome. I will go to jail for that.
The government don't care about nothing. You know, we'll make them richer and richer, make us poor and poorer.
When I was serving, as soon as I get out of here, it's going to be Job City. And it was like that. You know what I mean? Till run into problems. The government don't even take care of the people, much less the vet. You know what I mean?
We're homeless. Not having a place for her. I mean, that's the worst thing in the world, to want to take care of your kid and do everything for her, and you can't do anything.
How long have you been out on the streets?
This is my first day. Today's my 18th birthday.
Today's your 18th birthday, and you're out here homeless.
Yes.
When you see homeless females, homeless moms, homeless veterans, you think to yourself, how do we do this to our country? How do we do this to these men and women who serve this country so proudly?
Laura, these images are heartbreaking. These are veterans who have served our nation, and they are homeless in the shadow of the White House.
Hypothermia has taken the life of a 47-year-old homeless woman.
Investigators in Lexington think that the cold weather overnight played a role in the death of a man they believe was homeless.
We're so sad that we lost one of our brothers from the street.
Right now, 80%, maybe 90% of the demand from the top third income is being met in terms of housing, the production for that sector. In the middle sector is probably about 5%. In the lowest third, because we do have some affordable housing programs, somewhere between 15 and 20% of the actual need is met. That's still only 1/5. Yeah. An individual may find a challenge working with an agency, as you might well imagine, they talk to the city. As interim housing, there's certainly a value there because there was even a proposal, a council member was unseated many years ago because he proposed sort of a tent city. In my view, is that you're using an old military hospital site, and 3 days out of the year you're actually serving that population. Is kind of criminal that we're not doing it 365 days a year. We've criminalized homelessness to the point where people are sleeping on freeway off-ramps and little school triangles of green at 3-way interchanges, being hit by cars as they're crossing ramps to get to these inaccessible places where they at least feel secure, at least undisturbed, and that is criminal. fiscal impact of that, because right now we're actually earning revenue from Miramar from tipping fees. It more than offsets the cost of maintaining it. We're running out of landfill space. The challenge is fiscally, the city is going to face a very different situation when they're going to have to pay for tipping, as opposed to paying themselves for tipping.
Yeah.
So it's going to be all private. There will be only private landfills, no municipal landfills.
I mean, I'm kind of playing with the gray zone of what these homes are and how they're treated. You know, it's not a permanent home on a foundation. So you don't register with the building department. And it's on wheels, but these wheels aren't highway approved, so you don't have to register it with DMV, say like with an RV or one of those tiny home trailers.
Oh, okay.
It's a cart. It's like a shopping cart, a baby stroller. It's just on these little wheels. You can't take it because it is movable.
Okay.
But they can't ticket it because you don't have a license plate. They did have some issues. They were mentioning that, you know, there's garbage around them, there's human waste, there's some drug use. Which I said, yeah, okay, I know those issues, but I don't. Those existed before my homes. You know, my homes didn't cause the crack epidemic. 5 different people from the city came out. A city manager, a woman who is outreach to homeless people, or one who he runs the cleanups of these camps and cities and streets, a woman who represents the local businesses, and she was probably the most vocal of not liking my home. City manager Joe came up to me and said, hey, you know, the creativeness is great, the outpouring is great. I mean, it's nice, it really is kind of a movement. Sometimes I'll go to some developers that reach out to me, like saying, hey, you know, I got 3 dumpsters full of 2x4s and plywood and this and that. I'll have my guys set it to the side or come in, let me know when you're here, we'll open up the gates for you. They're very into it because you think about it. I mean, not just maybe the moral aspects of the home, just thinking volume and economics. So they kind of love it when I show up.
The goal is always to reduce the amount of waste. Period.
There's just so many materials being thrown away. You could set up a crew that goes around and says, well, hey, if I won't just pick it out of your dumpster or whatever, what if we went around and we went inside and with a little team of experienced people did some of the work for you, took down some of these walls and we get the materials out of it. So it would be a cost benefit for the developer. You know, the developer, they're thinking about money. We just, at this last build, you know, we had the Super Bowl up here in San Francisco. And Nike set up this huge party dome, whatever, speakers and lights and advertising. And they just used really, really good plywood and all these panels, and we got those. So we were building from those. They were throwing them away.
Compare the 20% plus surcharge for reusing the lumber and complexity and storage versus having someone come and take it away, take it south of the border, it disappears legally, and they don't have to pay the tipping fee. So now you've from the higher cost, 20% plus, now you've just dropped the cost, you know, some percentage as well. So it typically, and it's very common here, a lot of materials cross the border. A lot of Tijuana and other communities down there are built in materials from deconstructed buildings on this side. goods for building. Most of those things are not actually from demolition, but they are from, say, goods I have looked at. I don't want to typify what they do, but a lot of the goods I have seen there have been the result of high-end remodels where somebody says, no, I want that door shaped lighter. So they just rip out the door, either they just installed, brand new, send it to the restore, get a donation, get a credit for the donation, and buy a new one for this Rancho Santa Fe.
What we're trying to do is help the homeless and change the way that they're helped out. I mean, we walk past these people every day and we don't notice them. They're sitting on the curbs, sleeping on the sidewalks, and we just go about our day, not even acknowledging them. But the truth is, they've gone through some terrible things in their lives to get up to that point. I mean, not everybody chooses to be homeless, you know? And some go through terrible things, some are born into it, some are war veterans, some are old, some are young. But in the end, they're all humans, just like me, just like you, just like everybody else, you know? So why should they have anything else than what we have, what I have? A roof, water, you know, a place to sleep at night. And that's what we're trying to give these people, and we're not just giving them tiny houses. We're giving them the knowledge to be able to build these things on their own and to go out and teach other people how to build it. Like, the materials are free and they'll know how to find them. They just got to look in the right places. And we want to help them do these things on their own. Like, we're just there as a stepping stone. And we have nothing to lose by helping them out, and they have everything.